Welcome back in, y'all. We are Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today is all about Survivor. We are at the merge, finally, one of the most exciting parts of the game. And so make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can stay tuned to all of our recaps. I'm Victoria. I'm a psychologist out of New York and Illinois.
And I'm Kamaria. I am an attorney in the DC area and also a pop culture writer.
So let's just start from the top of the episode, all right? So we come in and we are at post-tribal for the new and before pre-merge orange team. And Cedric is explaining to say, wait a minute before you get mad, girl. Like, I didn't have no time to talk to you, but this was the only way to get this to happen was me just at least pulling Chrissy to the side and saying, yo, vote for Bianca because she playing us.
What I say last episode, I said, Say is not going to forgive this man. Even the vote at the end, we'll get to that later, but I like this girl, she does not forget. So I didn't expect her to take that well at all. I expected her to react just how she did. And to be honest, like, I almost wonder, is Cedric really telling the truth though? You know, is it really that he only had those 5 minutes? And so it's like, if I'm saying this as a juror, not a juror, as a watcher, if I'm saying that I don't know if he's telling the truth, her as somebody who has actual bona fide trust issues with him, she gonna have, some problem with this story. It's gonna be harder to digest, even if it is true. Because part of me felt like, is he telling the truth about this, or is this just what sounds like it's the best story? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely was like, ooh, Kamaria called it. She ain't gonna be happy. She was definitely mad when they came back, but she did tell Mitch and Chrissy, I owe you guys an apology. And then she was like, okay, so the only people who voted right was you and Cedric. So I was like, maybe there is still a little light at the end of this tunnel. I don't know. Going into the merge, though, we shall see how Say does for real, honestly, after this episode.
She don't have no other options. That's what I'm saying. Like, Cedric, it's always a good move for him to do what's best for him, even if it pisses Say off, because she doesn't have any other options. He is about her best option, and that's not saying much, to be honest. Because even, like, when we got to the merge, Mary ain't even, the Girl Alliance ain't even. So, Say's got her work cut out for her, and it's like she don't have no other option. She has to mend the fences with him. I think she knew the vote wasn't going to him. She just wanted to be petty.
Yeah. Which I was explaining to someone earlier that this is what I love about Say, right? Like, she just knew the vote was still going to go her way, so she was like, let me just throw one out there.
Right.
I was like, your ass is on the line. You ain't supposed to be just throwing votes anywhere just because you don't know what was going to happen.
Absolutely. Because I'm like, they could have gone left very quickly. It could have gone left, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
But she got 9 lives. I said it before. She got 9 lives. So we'll see if she has a 10th next week. But she's got some good luck going her way, for sure.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move into the announcement of the merge, which, I mean, it's not too much to talk about it, but I just want to highlight that moment that Star had when she was sitting on the beach, chilling back, laying on the tree stump, and she was like, come to Mama Star, today we will be friends, tomorrow we'll be war. I was like, okay.
This was definitely Star's episode to shine. She was featured like so many times in really good moments. She had Tribal, she had that moment, she had the moment with Cedric, which made me tear up. Like, literally, I was like, go ahead, Star. I was like, this right here, you went past, not only are you getting a player edit, like, you started making me think, are you getting a winner's edit, girl? Okay,
no,
like,
for
you
real.
Prove me wrong, because it's like she blossomed in this episode so beautifully that I felt like it was intentional on the producer's part. Like, there's a story that's about to unfold for Star, I think. And who knew that giving up that idol last week was actually a good idea? You called it. You was like, now the attention's on Eva. And I was like, no, you never give up an idol. But yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I love Star in this episode, and of course we'll talk about her more as we get to the different parts of the episode. But yeah, when she said "Come to Mama," when she said "Come to Mama Star," and let me get you a little hug, and we can be friends, I was like, okay, yes, I'm here with this version of Star. But it definitely seems edited on the producer's part, because I'm like, we have truly missed out on Star's personality this entire time. We're thinking like she has these moments where it doesn't feel like she's fitting in. But it seems like people really enjoy her and enjoy being around her and talking to her. I don't know how many game relationships she has at this point, but it seems like socially she's doing pretty okay.
Well, I don't know entirely what the social thing is, but I do feel like you can see her personality a little bit more in this edit. Like this episode, you can see that she is a little humorous. She's funny. She seems to have a very warm heart. And I guess that also was shown in last week's episode with her dealing with Eva. She also is very loyal. We're starting to see her unfold, and she seems just like a genuinely good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's really what is starting to, like, because a lot of people, we have our group chat, our Survivor group chat, and a lot of people noted that this was her moment this time. And I think people are sensing that she's a good human being, and we like to root for those folks. And so I'm excited for her.
Absolutely.
If we do we got to do a top 3 this week on our top 3. I think Star gets a little top 3. That's what I think. I think she gets a top 3 player up here this week.
She might be number 1. What you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to think. My brain ain't there yet. I ain't thinking about it all the way. But I think that Star is definitely in that top 3 of players who made moves and did good things this week to set their game up. And I think she's definitely up there. So she's definitely top 3. I don't know where she is, but definitely top 3.
Yeah, I'm very excited for her game.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we are now at the merge. We have made it to everyone being on the beach together. I know for me, the first thing that stuck out was Say being super, super excited to see Mary and give her that hug. And then the camera flips and Mary's like, I am cringing in my boots, clutching my pearls to have to work with Say. I was so shocked at the stark difference.
Yeah, I was like sad. I was like, that's so unfortunate, because even when Say came up to her, she gave her the homegirl face. She was like, gave her the hug, like, girl. And so I was like, Mary's she's not giving homegirl back. So they're not going to be a dynamic duo. And that's what I was afraid of. I think we spoke about this before, in the fact that they were agreeing to bury the hatchet, and then they were immediately split up. And I was like, oh, Mary's going to develop new friends, you know? And so I almost am very scared for Say with regard to this Mary situation, because Mary will definitely, I think, have the upper hand if she decides to really like gut Say. She's gonna have, she has more friends. Everybody already is not liking Say. We can talk about that too at the merge. It's like I said, Say don't have no friends. She need an idol. That's the friend she got, and she need to.
I was trying to figure out, do people not like Say because everyone is saying things about her, or is it like she came off as at the merge, because she seemed a little more low key at the merge.
Well, I mean, she was talking about the merge feast and everything. Like, we had this, we had that, we had this. I think, but I think that there's something that's no filter about her, and that's the thing that is exciting about her. And I think that's the thing we love about her, is like, she's no filter. What's she gonna say next? But also, no filter can be sometimes more problematic. You know, it's very, it's. Some people like it, some people don't. And I think that's what we're experiencing in this situation. And then they're already just irritated because they're not eating, they're not sleeping well. And so it's easy for somebody who's like not having a filter to rub them the wrong way.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely right about that. I really hope Say can pull it through. I don't know what she's going to have to do. I'm really hoping her and Star maybe can link up.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Maybe that's the duo we need. Because I would root for that so hard. Black Girls.
I would too. Yes.
Come on. I would root for it.
I hope they can figure that out. But when Mary was like, heck no, I need to cut her and keep her at a 10 feet distance. I was like, oh God, I felt like Say's only hope, because even though she does have Cedric, like, maybe not 100%, but you do it. You got, that's about all you got. You know what I'm saying? And she's already not trusting that. So I don't know. I'm like, my girl, we gonna take it 1 week at a time. That's all we can do is Faye's game right now.
Yeah. What do you think about the tribe dynamics now that we're at the merge? So we had the sort of Siva 6. I know that we have something to chat about. Like Mitch and Charity were kind of like off on that. They don't realize that they don't have a 6.
Right, a Siva 6.
Yeah. And that's Charity's downfall, of course, as we learned at the end of the episode. But where do you think people are really forming real alliances? Because to me, it seems like the Joe, Eva, like David, like that group, if people need to watch out for them. And I wonder if there can be, even though I am rooting for Camilla and Kyle, but right now I think in terms of power dynamics, this Joe Eva group might be, but I don't know. But they was on the other side of the vote, to be fair, this time. So but they seem like they have strength in their numbers and strength in their bond. And so, do you have any thoughts in terms of where the tribe dynamics are now with this merge?
It seems, which is another thing we talked about in the group chat, is like it's chaotic right now. I feel like the most settled group for sure seems like this Joe, Eva, David, Shaheen, Kyle, right? I think it's them 5. But I'm just hoping that out of that, it does not spill over and hurt Camilla's game. So that's something that I'm a little worried about with these tribe dynamics right now.
I'm actually less worried about her, but
really,
talk to me a little more about what you think she's.
Well, I just don't want it to be. I don't want Kyle to end up feeling like this group can protect him more than Camilla. And if an opportunity comes up where he's put up against the wall and he has to get rid of Camilla to save his game with them because they're, deeper in numbers, I don't want it to be like that. I'm hoping that Kyle can find his way somewhere in the middle. With who he is. I feel like he's getting along with enough people where he can. And I mean, he was protected this week, so he didn't have to engage that much, right? But I am just a little bit fearful of that coming down the line where that might be a split in the vote, because I feel like at some point people are going to see that Camilla is a strong player. So whenever that moment happens, what will come out of that?
Yeah, so when you listed Kyle earlier, I'm not sure how deep Kyle is in with them. I feel like he is there. I don't have a strong enough read as to how entrenched he is in this camp. I know he's there, at least for the numbers of it, right? But I feel like still that Camilla is his number 1. And I feel like it's in a way that goes beyond whatever. So I don't feel like I can't see him getting rid of Camilla for them. But I think that Camilla is smart enough that she's going to be developing her own army. And so when the time comes, if there is a split, I think she's going to have enough people that Kyle can be in with her people too, if that makes sense. I don't know who her people are going to be. I just it's a vision. I see it for Camilla. She's not about to sit here and be riding on the side as a one person. She's going to get her troops together, and she's going to clock what's happening with all of this going on, and she's going to get her troops together. And so I think he's not going to have like, just the big group or Camilla by herself. It's going to be, you could choose us, or you can go over there with the muscle, but understand that, we coming for the muscle. And so I think he'll switch over. But I don't know. It's still too early to kind of tell, but I just wondered if you had any initial thoughts on like the merge and where it's looking like right now.
Because I feel like they're the only settled group to me right now. But I will also say one thing that I was thinking with them all being so strong, I'm like, you guys will always be the initial targets, So y'all need to pull in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all gonna have to pull in other people, because just because one of y'all are safe doesn't mean that all of y'all will be safe when we're at a 12-person, 13-person merge. Like, you guys will still be outnumbered in the vote like they were this time. So they're gonna have to still pull people in. And people are noticing that they're cliquey. Like Say mentioned, there's cliques, and I know that she was talking about them. Charity talking about people ain't talking to me, but I'm also like, Charity, you wasn't talking to people. But anyways, I feel like they're loud about it because they're strong, and that might be their detriment. But I feel like right now they're the only real solidified multi-person alliance.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wonder where Mitch is with all of this and Cedric, like where his trust is, because, you know, there's a lot there with Mitch.
Yeah.
He's had to deal with a couple blows the past two tribals, and I'm wondering where he settles in all of this because I would not underestimate him as a player. And so like I think it's going to be important to watch where he goes. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to go click up with Cedric, or is he like, no, thank you. I'm going to maybe attach to this bromance group because, you know, or whatever. The Shaheen, Eva Joe, that group. And so I'll be interested to see where he goes and where his loyalty is, because I was like, if Mitch and Chrissy can stay strong with Cedric, and if they can just like bury the hatchet with Say, and if they can maybe even get like that Camilla, like if we can get some momentum on this side of the tribe, they may be able to do something. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm excited to see where that goes. And then I'm about to say the one thing about Kyle, he mentioned watch out for Shaheen. What did he say that to David or whatever?
Yes.
So that's what makes me feel like Kyle is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But it's like, I'm not going to miss the party. But I you know, don't mean I'm staying all night. Like, you know.
Right. You're right. He did say that. Yeah, I was a little like, oh, when he said that. I said, not willing to cut. Jeez.
I know.
But I think that was coming from the idea of what was happening at their camp. Because, you know, he wanted to cut Shaheen. When it was
because of going through that bag.
Right, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we're going to see. But back to Mitch really, really quick. Mitch is a strong competitor. So I am very surprised. I'm like, y'all have not realized Mitch is the one who has been bringing the challenges home for the groups a lot of times, especially when it's them buckets. So,
and he's not bad at puzzles either.
Yeah, he's not bad at puzzles. So Mitch is somebody to look out for and watch. And I feel like because he's smaller and he's not as loud as other players right now, that he is definitely being overlooked. But yeah, I would love to see the underdog camp come together.
Get together. Sure. Yeah, that may be saving grace is that people in this war, people are like, we need her. It's not that we want her, but we need this number. And maybe that gives her enough time to build some relationships. But just seeing where a lot of these people go, Mary, you know, where'd she go? That's an important player too. Where is she going to go in all of this? And how is that going to play out? Because she's going to be somebody to watch for as well. And what if her and Camilla, oh my God, her and Camilla could be also another powerhouse. So I'm excited to see where everything goes, you know. The guys are
the only thing I want to see stop happening is, well, I don't want any more women to keep going home before another guy goes home. Like, especially because of that. Sometimes. Yeah, especially just because of that strong group of guys right now. I don't want it to become like the guys' camp.
Yeah.
And they seem, well, at least some of them seem very committed to this idea of like a challenged person winning, or like a strong person winning. And I'm like, y'all don't even realize the social stereotype y'all are creating in this group. And Eva has already said, like, she only gets along with guys, so she just automatically gets popped into that category, you know? But
yeah, I mean, I think it's okay for them to do that. You know what I mean? I don't take it as anything, but it is like socially, it's kind of like, okay, y'all just you know, trying to keep up with the status quo. But to be honest, in Survivor, it's not often those best competitors who win. They get voted out. They really do.
They do.
Like Joe, Ozzy, like it takes them many times to come back. Yeah, and it does. You know, there's some of our favorite players, but it gets snuffed. One of my favorites when I first started watching Survivor like years ago, was Malcolm. I was like, that man, I loved him. And so in any case, they don't, you know, so I can see them banding together, but my whole thing is, like you said earlier, they're going to need numbers because they're going to be on the chopping block because they're just obvious targets. So they have to have more numbers. Right. So, and Stars in them and with them too. We forgot about that. Stars in with them
I don't know. I was confused by that because when they were creating the alliance, nobody said Stars' name.
Star is just, she's worked her way in there. You get what I'm saying? She's worked her way in there because she's a loyal player. And I don't think that she is at the top of it. She's for sure at the bottom. But I think
Yeah.
she's in there. And I think they're going to be like, okay, she is a number. And I also feel like because she gave that information about Charity trying to get her out with the idol, and she was just like, no, I'm not using it or whatever. It's like she just solidifies the fact that she is a loyal player and she's someone they can trust. And so I think they're gonna go with her. They're gonna go with her as far as they can for sure.
Yeah.
But she wasn't on. She put Charity. So I will say that, like, she didn't. Right, her vote was Charity. Her vote was not Say.
Yeah.
So and their votes were Say, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like there is a little independence she has there, but I think that they are going to start to realize that she is someone that, she's a number for their camp, and I think she's very willing to be in their camp. But maybe they just didn't include her on the plans or something. Maybe she was just like, nope, I'm just actually not keeping Charity here.
Yeah.
Or maybe
she said her name. I was going to say, Star said Charity's name at the feast. So I think Star's going to do what Star wants to do. I feel like she's like undercover enough where at least in this vote, she could do that. And if it does come down to it, I feel like she could just easily say, like, she was coming for you, Eva. Like, why wouldn't she want her out, She could, easily flip that, I feel like. But yeah, she is protected, to your point.
Yeah.
What did you think about Charity trying to tell Star to give the idol back?
I was like, messy, trying to get out here, like, but for a second I was like, Star, girl, don't, you're not falling for it, are you? But then as soon as she left, she was like, nope, not gonna happen. And so I'm glad that she clocked that, because I for a second I was like, you're not, because sometimes when you don't have nowhere to go, like, people, you don't have a home base per se, somebody seeming like they're like trying to chit chat with you and be whatever could be, alluring.
Right, exactly. I will say, Charity, one thing she had said, I don't know who she was talking to, but she was like, yeah, I have Star in the bag and somebody else. And I was like, what game is Charity in? Because she said the same thing about David. I'm like, girl, you are clearly not in season 48 of Survivor, because you just think you got all of this clout. You think when you speak, people listen. Like, she really thought she had influence over Star to be like, yeah, girl, but it's your idol. You deserve it. You earned it. I'm like, girl, you a little delulu up in here. Just a little tinge.
Yeah. She just got people in the bag. That bag, like a net. That's her bag. Yes. One of them little Jamaican net things that it ain't holding nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everything's slipping through, Ain't nothing. Like, this is string tied together, girl. But that's what happens usually before you go home. So
right, you get too comfortable. Even when she was asking everybody during the no feast people conversation, like, this is my first time at Tribal, how is it gonna be? And Joe was like, I don't like it. Like, it's intense, And she's like, oh, but it could be easy this time because we could just do an easy vote. And Joe's like, girl, it's never easy. Like, where are you at? Like, right. But I was like, Charity's in her own world.
Yeah, and I think that maybe there's something about, like, maybe she's quick to judge. And I'm not saying she's judgmental or whatever, but it may be that she's making quick assessments about people, and she's like, and maybe that's from her flight attendant background. It's like, okay, this person's going to be a messy, 2B is going to be, a little annoying. Yeah. Like, maybe she's making first impressions, assessments and running with that and thinking she's got it figured out, and so it gives her confidence in that like, okay, I got David because this first impression I got of him was that he was listening, or Star, the first impression I got of her, she's gullible or whatever, and she's not really taking the time to get to know people deeper and realizing who they actually are, and so she's going off that initial read and just totally missing who these people are, and they're able to kind of be like, catch her by surprise.
Exactly.
So another thing, we got to talk about our girl Say running and running in front of Charity. That's another time Charity got her hands handed to her. Like, Say came
She's
in
a
there. I'm
runner.
like,
She's a track star.
is she? Is she? Is she? Because I'm like,
girl.
the way she was moving. Yes, because I'm like, I couldn't even understand how Charity didn't get there first. Like, Charity was like, two, and it was like, like, Say just jumped out and had her so fast. I was even like, what? What she came? It was like a lion.
No,
like
literally.
You know what I mean? She just got out there. So I'm like, Charity, girl, you got like the commercial. You got to be quicker than
that. Right. Say, this message is to say, please, we really need to know, did Charity see it first or did you see it first? Who started running first? Like, we know you got it, but please tell us, because I would love if Charity saw it first.
I think she did.
You just said, oh, she did? That's how the edit made it seem like, but I was like,
I think she did. I think what happened is that because I saw Charity, like I think Charity started running over there, and maybe Say just started hearing these footsteps like quickly moving, and just was like boom, and she just like I got her. You know, she in my wind, like I got this, and she. If
that's the case, when if that's the case when she said, you gave me a run for my money, it's even funnier because how she, you gave her a run for her money because she was going after that thing. Girl. And you said, not today, I got this.
Not today, yeah. But I was like, I guess that's what it is in the breaks. So,
Yeah, for sure.
That's how it happened. But yeah, that was, even though she didn't get the immunity, she got the feast. And I think that's definitely a boost. So
absolutely. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into the challenge. Because Say got that advantage, she didn't have to participate in the first part. Another great moment where we got to see Say's personality when she's super hyped about having about having this advantage, despite just telling Mary not to gloat.
I know. And then she caught herself. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. But it's like, girl, you got. Like, okay. This is what the people talk about. This right here.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have too much to say about the challenge. The mud was nasty. It was a lot. But that's Survivor,
Yeah.
Happy Kyle pulled it out for sure.
Oh yeah. He's golden.
Star gave him a run for his money too in that one.
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't know who to root for it. Like, girl, I was in there like, oh, who? I was like, Star, yes, Star. And I was like, oh, Kyle. It was like impossible to decide. It was like I was sad when she lost. I was happy when Kyle won, but then I also would have been very happy if Star won, and kind of like, oh, Kyle didn't win. But I think I wanted Star to win, to be honest. I wanted her to win.
Yeah, I did too.
Just because I was like, this is her episode. Let's cap it off with an immunity win,
Yeah.
But I was happy for Kyle. It was difficult for either of them, like for me to decide who,
Yeah, I was super hyped. And what's the craziest thing about Star is, in these moments that she's having, people aren't noticing, right? Like, they're not noticing that this girl just beat out most of the people up here, like they're just like, good job, Star, but like no one is having confessionals talking about Star, which makes this perfect, which goes back to somebody in our comments saying that Star is getting a winning edit, like if she makes it to top 3, I'm gonna be just overjoyed, honestly, and hope that she pulls in the win.
Yeah, definitely rooting for her. Like, before, I didn't know, I couldn't see the game. Excuse me, I couldn't see the game, and I didn't know, I didn't want her to go home, or I wasn't rooting against her, but I couldn't see it all the way, and now I see a little bit. I'm like, she's a loyal player, she's a good player, She has a good heart, and she's in that camp of Joe, but just, you know what I mean, like those players who are like that. But she just hasn't nestled into and really just like firmly implanted herself on that team yet. But if they do, I would like to see Joe open up his alliance to her. You know what I mean? I would really like to see it, because I think that it will do nothing but benefit him. I think she's very loyal, and he's looking for loyal players. I think she's going to be loyal, and she's competitive. So she's on that camp too. You know what I'm saying? She's a basketball
Yeah.
player. Somebody said that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That's what
You
I
can
thought
tell
I heard
she's
somebody
athletic
say.
in the challenges too. So yeah. Okay, cool. I know she's a
So
mom. I think I had saw she has like a
she's
2-year-old. Yeah, I think she has a 2-year-old. I could be wrong
Hi.
about that. Hopefully, I'm not wrong about that.
I
But
know
I feel
that we
like I
don't know
had saw
yet. So
somewhere.
we gonna
Yeah, we
confirm. We
don't
gonna
know.
confirm later. But right now, y'all, you do your own research.
Yes. Sorry, Star, if you're not a mother, but I definitely thought I saw somewhere that you were. Alrighty, so on to the feast. What are your thoughts?
Um, I was surprised at everybody being so vocal about who they, thought should be out there. Like Star said, whoever she said back home told her not to say
Yeah,
a
her
name, but she gonna
brother-in-law,
say a name. Yeah.
Robin.
Um, yes, but I don't think anything harmed anybody's game per se,
Yeah, I
like
don't
from
think so
calling out a
either.
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I guess they had I can't recall, but by Say's interview, somebody had brought up that Mitch had the still a vote or double vote, whatever he has. I think it's a still a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody was kind of just spilling information, which I guess usually
Yeah.
happens at the merge feast.
Yeah, I
So,
wondered if there
yeah.
was going to be an advantage somewhere in there, but I didn't see
Yeah, I was
anybody.
wondering too.
Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah.
if folks don't ever find an advantage, right? I wonder if they still highlight that there was one and no one just found it, or they just cut it out of the show. Sometimes
Yeah,
I
they
wonder.
might
You know what I'm
just cut it
saying?
out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So after the feast, we get on over here and we have some conversations. This is before tribal and all that. Not Mary. Say is out here listing down the menu of all the delicious, delectable things they've eaten, and everybody is kind of again. It's the no filter. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
The way they edited in her little giggle at the end when Mitch was like, "I'm glad you got to enjoy that." I was like, the producers are doing a great job this
I
season
know,
with
just
these
setting
edits.
her up on a
Right.
platter as Miss No Filter, Miss
Yes.
getting on everybody's nerves, but
Yeah.
but we like it. It's good TV. Like
We love it.
yeah, she's been doing real good for the season. I think one of the key players.
Yeah.
If she doesn't make it to the end, which is not looking good for her, but if she has a trouble with her torture snuff, it's gonna be a sad day for all the watchers of season 48. Like whether you liked her or loved her, I think you're gonna recognize like, dang, like.
Yeah, she's
So
definitely brought an edge to the game. I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
have seen in too many players, quite honestly. She's
Yeah.
entertaining. So
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
somebody I hope like we end up seeing on the Traders, and all these other,
Oh,
like
she will
House
be
of, yes.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yes,
I hope we
yes,
see her on other
yes,
shows for
yes.
sure. Would love to even see her in Amazing Race with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Big Brother. Yeah.
Big Brother she might not be that. That might not be her camp. But I think
Yeah, I can see
Amazing
that.
Race and Traders right up her alley. But
Yeah.
one of the other things that was happening after the feast was Cedric and Star and this emotional moment. Like I thought that was just so touching. I actually kind of cried like watching it. Did you?
Yeah.
But I'm a
I
crybaby. Like I cried a lot of
absolutely.
stuff.
That's why I said I
Yeah.
can't believe all these shows got me in tears. I don't know. I was like, I'm like sensitive in this season or what. I don't know, but I feel like I am
Right.
crying off of a TV show every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that overdid it for me. Like the moment last week with Eva and Joe was beautiful, but this week I said, "Oh,
Yeah.
this might be my favorite scene in Survivor history right here."
Really?
Yes, we do not see Black women just speaking life into Black men on television, like at all. Enough, yes, but at all, like for it to say that it's a thing. No, I feel like this was a really big moment for the Black community on reality TV, on competition TV. Like this was a beautiful moment to see where it was just two humans. It was nothing about the game. She's talking about like, you are here breaking generational curses. You're doing things that a lot of men can't do. You're doing things that my father can't even do, you know, and just like recognizing just how great he is, how important he is, right? Like even outside of this game, and like how his moment in the game is going to come. I got chills even talking about it. Like, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that what you said is important because I think that in real life as Black women, we know that we are very often the first people to cheerlead and champion Black men and support them. I have brothers, Absolutely. You got brothers, we got fathers. We're always here. And so to have that shown on TV in this way was really nice. I think that was much needed because I don't think it's shown enough. That we're out here really supporting so many people, Black men included, and I think it's great to see that was showcased. You said it perfectly, so I don't really even have anything else to add on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was such a beautiful moment. I said, my God, today, yes.
Yeah. I was proud of that. It made me, Star just, it's like, her star keeps rising, you know? Her star keeps rising. So
amazing person for real. Steady. That's what she said. She said, Cedric, steady.
Yeah. I was
like, we're not doing that today. We're not doing that today.
Yeah, it was a really good moment. I loved it. It
was.
So as the day went on, like the conversations started to pick up about tribal. And so it seemed like initially, like Charity's playing with Say, and she was like, boom, easy layup. And Say and a lot of people were kind of saying, boom, easy layup for Charity, you know? And then I think what started throwing Say's name up a little higher was that the fact that what she said at the feast started getting back to Joe's team, you know? And even though Joe didn't end up voting for her, his crew did, which was, I don't know what that was about. It was just like, was it really supposed to be Charity in the beginning and they switched over because it was just last minute information and he didn't get it, or what? I don't know.
Well, I think it was Carolyn I saw on an interview not too long ago, and she was saying, like, before Tribal, it's so chaotic because all the players are constantly getting pulled for confessionals. And so it's like, the plan can be one thing, and then you can go to confessionals and you come back and it's another thing. And so to be able to be, like, up on exactly what the plan is, which is, I guess, is why, like, they get to Tribal and they're like looking at each other, like trying to signal like what the plan is, because some of them truly may not know, which I think is actually what could have happened with Cedric finding out about Bianca's no vote.
I got you.
Say is always in confessionals. So
confessionals,
Maybe she really was in a confessional and didn't have time to find out. But anywho, so I do think maybe that impacted how this vote went. Like now that I'm thinking about it, but also at the same time, maybe Joe did not ignore the fact that Charity was trying to tell Star to get her idol back, and so maybe for Joe, he was unforgiving of that and was like, absolutely, no, Charity gotta go. She's a threat to my camp, so she has to go.
She has to go,
and that could be an easy explanation for him too, but
and
but it was Star.
Also kind of like
you were saying. Oh, go ahead.
It was Star what?
I was saying not Star, but I was saying, but it was Say who shifted this vote to it potentially being her by bringing up Eva's name.
Oh, by bringing up Eva's
at
name.
The feast.
Yeah. But to your point about like how fast things are moving, it's also like it makes me think about how people talk about the difference between this 26-day game versus the old 39-day game, and how it's just moving so incredibly fast. And so I could see that happening, that's how the vote just kind of got flipped up a little bit. And there's just so many people, and so many people who are just going to Tribal for the first time. So, you know, I could see that.
Right.
One of the conversations before Tribal also was Mary talking to, I don't know who she was talking to, David? Was she talking
Joe.
to? Oh, Joe.
Joe.
Talking about how Say she's good at tribal. That's when I knew. I was like, the girl is serious. She is not playing with Say. She is cut her. Because that was so cold. I was like, Dad, you can't just like at least keep the secrets. You ain't gotta like actively go against her, but Mary's doing her thing.
Like I understood Mary a little bit because I get it. Say is an agent of chaos in this game for sure. But I do still feel like when Say is under the wire and she knows like she got to chill out or like play a certain game, she can do that. And so I feel like Mary did not give Say enough time in this merge. At least wait for the first vote before you just start saying everything that was going on back on your original camp, because you are also low in numbers. And so although your information may be valuable to another player, your information for most of these other people does not give you an instant spot. It does not instantly like build trust where trust is needed. You need people to trust, but these other people don't need people to trust, especially Joe. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe say a little, but saying too much to the wrong people, I think is not good for Mary's game. And so I do think Mary should have gave Say just a little bit of wiggle room, just a little bit post-merge, at least a few conversations to see where things are at before she did that. But I agree, definitely was given, I ain't working with Say. Y'all can have her. You want to vote for Say? I'm going to write her name down on that parchment paper. But yeah, I was like,
and it's so funny.
Mary,
I don't even think that Say's that good in tribal. I think that Say survives tribal despite herself sometimes, to be honest. Like, I promise you that. I think Mary is good at tribal a little bit. I think Mary is a good, she's mind games, She's the one who's playing mind games. Say is just shooting from the hip. And she's not here to try to pretend. She's just here to set her aim and fire. And I think that's intimidating for people. And I think that maybe that feels like it's mind games, but I don't think it's actually mind games. I think she's just being authentic and saying exactly how she feels, and whether that helps her or hurts her, she's doing it. But I think that she's just so bold and she's so authentic that's her superpower. And that's what it gets in people. They're like, she can't be doing what she's doing, But yes, I didn't really agree with Mary's take on it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody might not agree with my take on it, but
I think Mary probably has that take though, because all the votes were going in Say's favor when they were all together on green.
Oh, yeah. But that's just because Mary didn't have Say had her alliance that she had locked in, Yeah. Mary hadn't locked in anybody except the girl with the flower hat. I can't remember her name. The first vote.
I can't.
Yeah. But we know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry to this woman. But yeah.
Yes. Alrighty. So let's move into tribal. As we've been discussing, Charity goes home. But what were some parts of tribal that you enjoyed seeing?
I enjoyed seeing her go home because I thought that Say was I thought it was gonna be Say. But I was just like, I can't believe Say putting a vote on Cedric. Her butt was on the line. That could have gone very wrong. That's what I'm saying. This girl, it's like people want to be all like, oh, she's doing this mastermind. She's just bold and she's just playing with her gut. Like, I think you mentioned that earlier when we were talking, like she's just moving with with authenticity. And so it lands where it lands. And I think 9 times out of 10 though, it's working for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's doing it, but I think it's that authenticity piece. She's just doing what she feels like she needs to do, and it's just working out for her.
Yeah. When I saw that Cedric vote, of course, everybody knew it came from Say, but I was just like, oh, so you were confident that you were not going home, baby girl. Like, how were you that confident when they just kept saying Say? And I thought for sure it was going to be said the way them things was rolling out. And I was like, not Say's name coming up 1,000 times and Cedric is in the mix, but then it went Charity. And I said, oh, thank God. But I don't know. I enjoy that part of Say. I really do. I feel like,
Yeah, no.
you know, the
I do too.
impulsivity is probably like a little relatable to me because I feel like I'm a little like that sometimes. Like I'm gonna go with the wind just a little bit. You know, I'm gonna think about it, but I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and just, dibble and dabble in a little bit of danger. So yeah, I enjoy watching it. I think it's funny. But yeah, I definitely was in the mix of it though. I was on the edge of my seat thinking like, no, this girl did not put a vote on Cedric when she about to go home.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
very well could have. Like, if Joe had voted with his crew,
Yes.
if he had voted with his crew, it would have minimum been a tie. Because it would have
Yeah.
been 6-6, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
been
risky
6-6.
move. It was a very
Yes.
risky move. And it's like, that it just shows you that she is a player that holds grudges. She ain't here to do nothing
Yeah.
but alleviate what's on her heart to alleviate. Like, if she wanna hold this grudge until X date, it's gonna be held. If she wants to move this way, she gonna move that way. If she wanna say this, she gonna say this. And so I think that like it's like a double-edged sword. It's like her gift and her curse. So we'll see how it plays out for her. But yeah, I just wonder what's going to be the fallout for next week and how things are going to go, you know? Because I think ultimately everybody paying attention to that Siva Strong getting them out, I think that was important. Like, aside from Charity, just them not liking her or whatever, she said that they weren't really talking to her or whatever. But aside from that, Siva has 6 players. Nip that in the bud, because like once they start going to tribal and experiencing that fear, it's gonna draw them closer together. Like, we got numbers right here. Like, why would we not pick this up? It's here. So I think they have to do that. You just have to do that. You have to cut it up a little bit early. And so I guess who's left on that original Siva? That's Mitch, Chrissy. Who else is that?
David, Kyle, Camilla.
Kyle and I'm mixing them up. Kyle and Camilla and Dave. Oh yeah. Now they have been broken up though, for sure. But I think that you wanna make sure. Right. You wanna make sure that there's no other alternative, plans for people like David, Right. Like if you're the Joe crew or whatever, you wanna make sure Joe, he ain't got that as a crew. He's with y'all. So break it up a little bit. And then Mitch, But
I mean, even how the vote went tonight, right? Like Mitch and David were on opposite sides with the rest of Siva. So they probably might be the ones to be like, you know what? Maybe I should be thinking Siva Strong. So where are y'all voting? So that I can be in the block with y'all.
David voted for Say, right?
Yeah, David and Mitch both voted Say.
Both voted. Did anybody else on Siva vote for Charity, or did all Siva vote for Say?
The rest of Siva voted for Charity. Wait, Chrissy voted Charity.
Okay.
Yeah, Camilla voted Charity, and Kyle voted Charity.
Okay. So yeah, there is a little bit of a split there. So I think they did enough damage. That's all they need to do. Focus on one little sniper hit. They took out Charity. And then they done with the Siva monster. It's gonna fall on its own, even though they still have 5 members. It's falling. So I like that. I like that as a play. What I'm interested to see for the next episode is really what happens with the rest of these people who are not in the muscle group camp. Like, what are y'all gonna do? Because they would have the number if everybody else stuck together. They would have the numbers, right?
Yeah, they definitely would have the
muscle
numbers.
camp is David, Joe, Eva, Shaheen, Star as a possible, Kyle as a possible. Is that is that 6? That's 6. That's literally half the tribe, and 2 of them are possibles. You know what I'm saying? 2 of them are possibles. So I think personally, if the other side can get it together, they can do some things, because I think they can get Kyle. Where Camilla goes, I think Kyle's going to go. So I think they can do a little double-edged sword, double, trickery.
Right, yeah.
Basically, they can do some trickery going on.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Double
So we
agent.
shall
My brain wasn't
see.
even working. I'm like, what is it? What am I trying to say? Double
I
agent.
didn't even know that's what you was
I
trying
was
to
like,
say.
double sword, double agent. Y'all, I ain't had no sleep. Sorry. But yeah, double agent, double agent. I think Kyle can be that,
Yeah,
especially like if they want to take a good
absolutely.
little sniper hit at Joe or Eva,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So but we'll see.
We shall
Anything
see.
else that you
That
thought
is
was worth discussing?
all. I
Okay,
think that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
See?
Alrighty, y'all. Yes, we will see you next week. Again, we're Black Girls Talking TV. Find us on all platforms, well, TikTok and Instagram at Black Girls Talking TV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And until next week,
See ya. Bye.
bye.